Hello, everybody. It's, hey, if there's anybody there, that is. Statto, how are you this evening?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm feeling very festive. I see you are as well.
Oh yeah, I've been talking quite a bit lately, just all throughout the day. So my voice has gotten a little deeper. It's going to be great for the episode.
All right, yeah,
Beautiful.
so
Yeah,
we're both brilliant. I'm a bit because I'm just getting over that work. I'm a wee bit kind of husky. No pun intended. Oh, here we go. What's that?
Same garbage.
Same garbage. Do you buy like giant sort of like
8-packs?
88 packs.
That'd save me a lot of trouble.
It would.
Maybe I should just go and get like a vending machine. Pop it in the kitchen.
Yeah, you just get like a separate fridge to keep them all in. You buy them once a year.
I brought the case into my room the other day, and my wife gave me crap. Like, oh, so you're just going to bring it right in here? It's like, cut the middleman out. It makes sense to me, but
it's a lot easier. Just keep it under your drawing desk.
I'm hoping I can like create like an entire wall of cans and then bust through it like the Kool-Aid man. Like, you ready for dinner? Oh yeah!
Brilliant.
She didn't like that idea.
No, I know.
Hey, Pete.
I don't think many wives would. And festive greetings to yourself, Pete. Thank you. Hey, peeps.
Hello.
Hey, Ross. Hello, all. We're going to be very festive tonight, for the most part. So, yeah, we're doing a Christmas special, and it's going to be, it's not a top 10, it's a top 5 from each of us. So we're going to be picking our top 5s for Christmas. And the idea behind it is that they're either movies that are Christmas movies or they're movies that you would watch at Christmas, so they mean something to you that kind of connects them with Christmas. That's the whole idea behind it.
We don't have Human Centipede on this one. I hear Anna watches that every year.
Yeah, does she? Right, okay. Not the sequels, or no? Or is that for Boxing Day or New Year's Eve? I still have. That's not a movie. It's on my watch list. I have to say, I've never seen it.
No.
Yeah. I think once you've seen the premise and some of the stills, you kind of, it's in your head. You've got the movie.
The Wikipedia plot sections for it.
Yeah.
Just quick read a paragraph.
I don't know. Did they make a musical version?
I hope not.
Because, I might watch a musical version. But
first guy eats like beans and then
they sing about them. And then they repeat it because, beans. Yeah, but yeah, that's it. That's the whole kind of premise behind the show tonight. So, yeah, Michael.
Hey, Michael.
So let's get this rolling. As they say, first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about honourable mentions for films that might make a top 10 or a top 20 list or something like that. So I'm going to quickly bring mine up, and then we'll bring Statto's up.
And in a bonus after the top 5, I'm going to talk about the movies that I hate.
Oh, excellent. Brilliant. We're going to clip that. That's his own special little
just in the Christmas spirit.
Statto turns Scrooge. Right. So these are my honourable mentions in films that I might watch at Christmas. Die Hard 1, I might watch any time of the year. I do think Die Hard 2 is more Christmassy because snow, Christmas. Miracle on 34th Street.
Mm-hmm. The Macy commercial.
Yep, which is the original one, 1934 or 37.
Oh, absolutely. I didn't care much for the new one. No,
I like the original one. Funnily enough, the actual American posters didn't have Chris Kringle guy as Santa Claus on them. A lot of them didn't. Mm-hmm. They were selling it on the stars of the movie.
Oh yeah, well, Maureen O'Hara. Come on,
that was
That's
it.
Great.
Yep, we would rather put her on the poster rather than some old man with a beard and a hat. Meet Me in St. Louis, which almost made it my top 5 because it's an amazing musical. It's to do with all 4 seasons, and I love Hollywood MGM musicals, and that's one of the best. Bad Santa, because it's just funny.
I'm just noticing this comment from Professor Murph. He's playing Mr. Potter in the Christmas thing in the production, the theater production. That's freaking great.
Hey, Prof. That's right, because I didn't realise that. I mentioned when I was on with the show you were on with Charlie the other night. I knew you were doing something. I didn't realise you were doing that.
Hot dog.
Cool. So you're playing the villain, but you're going to get away with it. Yeah. Anyway, so Bad Santa, Muppet Christmas Carol, of course, mainly for Gonzo and Rizzo the Rat, the best double act in movies. And Tales from the Crypt, of course, is another one that I like to watch every now and then at Christmas, mainly for the Santa story with Joan Collins.
Do you remember the first episode of the series? They had Larry Drake playing the evil Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Naughty. Oh, nice.
Yeah. I prefer the movie version though, because the Santa in the movie version, you can imagine seeing him in an actual street.
It's got like leprosy.
Yeah, it's just a really.
It looked more like an EC. Well, they both kind of did. Larry Drake had effed up teeth and looked crazy. He played crazy really great.
Yeah, and I put Elf in because I actually quite like Will Ferrell movies. But I'm now my interest is peaked. I'd rather watch a Jess Franco marathon than one of the films in your screen there. We need to find out what that one is.
Of course, he's talking about the Muppet Christmas Carol. I don't know. How can you say no to Michael Caine?
Maybe he's talking about Elf.
Bad Santa?
Surely not. Meet Me in St. Louis. It's a lovely movie. Anyway, I'm going to bring up your honourable mentions.
Okay.
And you've got some cracker ones on there.
I got some weird ones.
Yeah, but no, you've got some ones I would put on as well. Because when you started thinking about this, I'm thinking we could spend an hour just talking about films that don't make the top 5.
That's right. Oh, some surprises in here, right? So these ones are on here because I could watch them all year long. Like Gremlins, I know takes place on Christmas through the whole thing. Batman, kind of similar. Not so much on. Is this on Christmas Day, or is it just kind of like early before, just in the season? I think it's just in the season.
I thought it might be Elf. Yeah, it's Will Ferrell. He's a kind of love him or hate him type of comedian, isn't he?
But yeah, these movies I don't necessarily put on my Christmas kind of thing because they get sold all year long. Most traditional Christmas movies are taken off the shelf around January. They come on in November, but these guys, they happen all year long, and they don't feel out of place when you watch them all year long too. So I mean, I guess that doesn't quite hit my favorite. And Krampus, I saw that one in the theater. This is kind of a stand-in for like all of those Christmas horror movies, because as much as I like horror movies and these Christmas horror movies, it's not something I really watch for Christmas. Because I mean, there's like, I don't know how many, 10, 20, like Mrs. Krampus and Krampus Returns and Krampus's Revenge, and there's one where he fought Santa in a hallway, like Santa had.
I liked him in The High Chaparral.
What's that?
Oh no, wait a minute, that was Trampus. Sorry, I'm getting confused.
Oh, yeah.
That's Santa Claus for all the really old people that are in the chat.
The Santa Claus and Home Alone, just because I saw him so much when I was a little kid. Like, I don't know that I could watch him as much anymore. Nightmare Before Christmas, because, well, I guess they confirmed it's kind of a Halloween movie, but you can watch it for Christmas. And it's okay. It's all right. And then the Santa Claus, because that was the very first Christmas movie I ever saw that I remember. We had it on VHS, but it's not one that would go in my top 5 or really 10.
No.
Coming off of the what looks like the fourth.
I just need to correct myself. It was a Virginian Trampus was in. I'm getting my westerns mixed up. You've got one up there that I know that Charlie's London loves.
Which one?
Santa Claus the movie.
Are you sure? Oh, I know. She liked that Dudley Moore.
Yeah, that's probably my least favorite Christmas movie ever. I can't stand that movie.
The Krampus was a little frustrating because there was such hype around it, and it looked so good. It was going to be the next Gremlins, and they didn't quite. Whether it was the tone, or maybe it's too funny and not scary enough, or what. The visuals were great. Weta did a wonderful job. The monster looked great. Maybe it's just too many comedic characters in there.
Yeah.
All trying to do too many cooks in the kitchen, basically. They're all kind of trying to do their thing and running into each other. It's like one of those things where you get two really big stars and you put them in a movie and they both have a specific thing. They're not written right and they just don't work even though they're both good. I feel like that was the Krampus.
Yeah, I like I said, I mentioned to you before we came on here, I fell asleep watching it on the telly, so I can't really comment. It was late at night. But yeah, it didn't kind of keep me awake. Silent Night, Deadly Night, I haven't seen that in years. I might have to get the box set. This is what happens every other week. Pete mentions a box set that I don't know about, or a Blu-ray release I don't know about, and then I have to buy it. Yeah, that's a good call. I haven't seen that in years. But yeah, that's our honourable mentions. I'm trying to think if there's anything else.
There's lots of them we're missing, but
that I didn't put in there.
There's this one. It happened in Manhattan. It was like 3 millionaires died in a plane crash, and their ghosts are trying to get these two together. That was an interesting movie. Christmas in Connecticut? No, that's the one where they stayed in that rich dude's house.
I have no idea. I've no idea. Is that a horror movie?
No, not quite.
The rich guy comes back, kills them all. No,
they just did like the what was it? Like the trick photography, like double exposure almost with these 3 actors. Got you. No. It was an interesting movie.
There's a Woody Allen one, Love and Death. I like watching that sometimes at Christmas. That's the one that's kind of like a takeoff on your Russian literature, like Dostoevsky, War and Peace, that kind of thing. But again, just because it's a very wintry setting, it's like a takeoff.
Tell me about it. A few years ago, when I had my big Christmas movie boom, I got like 14 Christmas movies that I hadn't seen. We had a brown Christmas that year. It didn't snow until 3 days after Christmas, and by that time, I was done.
Yeah.
I should have put Christmas Chronicles on there because Kurt Russell as Santa Claus was great.
He was. The movie, though?
The movie was okay, but but Kurt Russell as Santa Claus they made that movie.
He was. I haven't seen the sequel, mind you. But maybe
I haven't either. Yeah, I'm kind of afraid to because I feel like it'd ruin it.
Yeah, no, I loved him in it, but the movie itself, it kind of had me until they had the whole singing in the jail cell sequence.
You didn't like Santa sings the blues.
Yeah, and it's like I don't mind that kind of stuff, but there has to have some kind of an internal logic that makes it acceptable.
For me, what made it was when they stole the car and he was laughing. Really, his Kurt Russell laugh, just ha ha ha, ha right in the kid's face. Ghostbusters was New Year's.
Yep, Ghostbusters 2. It was Ghostbusters 2, no?
Ghostbusters 2. I think there's a little Christmas in it, but it was like the statue crashed through at New Year's. Because they did the countdown and they sang, the thing is a sequel. But the first one,
that was very cryptic there from People Circus. The thing is a sequel to Ghostbusters.
Oh yeah,
we shall find out.
No.
Sorry, you were saying.
No, it took place 4 years later. The Ghostbusters 2 was like 3 or 4 years later because they were entertaining kids' parties and stuff.
That's right. Yeah. And there's only been 2 Ghostbusters films, so we'll just leave it there. Right. Do you want to go into your number 5 then?
Yeah, let's do that.
And at number 5.
There it is. Chop around the country. Start with some James Stewart. One of my favorite actors. This movie spawned 2 remakes. One of them was You've Got Mail, and the other one was is it in the springtime? Something in the springtime? Oh, thing was the sequel.
I
get what he's saying.
I am so slow. I am so slow tonight.
But this one, have you seen this?
Oh yeah, yep, it's a great film.
Yep, this one. I walked into it like it was on some random time on TCM when I first saw it. Missed the first like 10 minutes of it, but I walked in and I was watching it. I didn't even know what it was, but I just couldn't take my eyes off of this movie. Particularly the scene where the wizard there, Frank Morgan, was at the end of his rope.
Yeah.
There was no music in that scene. It was really, really tense. But this movie I think they did it better than You've Got Mail.
Oh, definitely.
I've seen that, but I mean, like, it's another one of those ones I think I could probably watch all year long because it just kind of took place in a busy shopping season, which was Christmas season. But I mean, there was very little Christmas in it, but it's still a Christmas movie.
Yeah. Well, if you've ever worked in a shop at Christmas, you kind of get the whole feel.
Definitely.
You understand it entirely. Yeah. No, this is a terrific movie. It's at that cusp of like the 30s and the 40s. So, like, about 1939, like, there was just so many good movies coming out, lots and lots of terrific movies. And that was there. That was one of them.
Yeah. And I found it completely on accident. Became one of my... I like Margaret Sullivan, too. She did a great job in this movie. All of them. Frank Morgan, Stewart, all of them did just a really good job in this movie. The Jimmy Olsen looking guy.
And
that D-bag right there.
Yeah. See, that's what Jimmy Olsen should be like. Yeah. No, that's a good choice. That's a good one. That's a... Yeah. No,
but I don't know too many people that have even never heard of it.
No, I don't think so, because it's one of these films that I think years back it would be shown all the time on TV, but the way that things are now with television, there's not really a place for the old movies unless you go straight to Turner Classic Movies or something and look
and that's exactly where I saw. Otherwise, I never would have.
Yeah.
You know, in the good old summertime in 1949 was the other remake of this movie with Judy Garland and Van Johnson.
Oh right, okay,
1949. Yep.
Yeah, that's actually not bad either. But this is by far the best of them all.
Mm-hmm.
It's this year.
What?
Yeah.
That's heartbreaking.
I don't believe him.
That's not a Christmas present that I want. Where's Tango and Cash 2?
Yeah, I don't believe him. I don't know if that's going to be a blessing or a curse.
He'll come back for something. Something. I don't know. I love me some Kurt Russell movies.
Yep. Oh, me too. Now I'm going to pull up my fifth one, but it's a bit of a change from an Ernst Lubitsch romantic comedy drama with James Stewart, I have to say. That's Black Christmas, the original Black Christmas, not the not the remake, from 1974, although I think it was made in 73 by Bob Clark, who made Porky's.
Right.
Anybody remembers that?
Yeah. I try to forget. We just did the shop around the corner on my number 5, Dave. This is his number 5.
Yeah, we've done our honourable mentions, so it's worth checking those out later on. But cheers, Dave. Thanks for showing up. Black Christmas is one of those movies that I saw on TV. It went to TV quite quickly, I think, because it was like one of these Canadian productions. Dead influential, really influential movie. It was came out before Halloween.
You had to phrase it like that?
What, dead influential? Yep, dead influential. Pure dead influential. It's more of a kind of like a combination of like a detective type mystery and a proto kind of slasher movie.
Right.
Before we had Halloween and before we had all these slasher movies.
What year was this? 72, 73?
74 it came out. It was made in 73, I think.
Okay.
So yeah, it's well before Halloween. It's rough and ready. It's got lots of OTT acting in it, but it's all on purpose, I think. You know, it's got that kind of melodramatic feel to it.
Sure.
It's got a terrific kind of like cast for anybody that likes cult movies. So you've got Keir Dullea, he's in there. Margot Kidder, John Saxon's in there. And you see there we've got Olivia Hussey, and it's just a good old school kind of early 70s horror movie / thriller. And when I saw it on TV, it was at Christmas or just before Christmas. And I watched it myself on TV. And we used to have this chap on Scottish television who would do all the links at the very end of the evening before the TV ended. So usually about midnight, near enough 1 o'clock, that was it. The TV was done. There was no more programs until 7 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, that's the way it used to be, kids.
The sign off for station identification.
That's it. So he would sign off and he'd always make a wee joke or whatever. And he said, so remember when you're locking up tonight, just be careful when you're looking out behind those curtains. Right? And I was like, yeah, where you go, man. And so I went to lock up and I went to close the storm doors out the front. And before I started watching the movie, it hadn't snowed. But after I watched the movie, it snowed, and place was completely covered with this crisp snow. And I could look across and I could see like a window lit up in one of the houses across the road. And it's almost exactly the same as the last scene for this movie. Not kidding you. And I went, oh, and locked up and went to bed. But that stuck with me almost as much as anything. So that's why it's got to make it in my top 5, because
got that personal life.
Yeah, we kind of like it stuck in my head. I had a wee smile, I thought that's quite funny. And it was a good scary wee movie as well. So yeah, Black Christmas. Bob Clark, actually a very good, interesting filmmaker who fortunately died very young. It would have been great to see the kind of movies he was going to make, because he didn't stick around in one genre, and he liked to try, lots of different things and kind of see where it went and where it took him. But he also made a movie called A Christmas Story, which doesn't make my top 10 or my top 5. But yeah.
What?
I know. Mainly because I've never seen it.
You've never seen it?
Never seen it.
No.
Christmas Story. What one's that? Is that the one with the wee boy?
Yeah, but he'll shoot your eye out.
Is it any good?
We'll talk about that later.
Oh, we will. I think we'll be okay. I'm going to add you to the stream now. Okay, here we go. And at number 4.
Scrooge. This is my favorite of the, I'm going to say, quote unquote, modern Christmas movies. Because I set it apart from the Christmas Carol, because it is the Christmas Carol, but it's not the Christmas Carol. It's it's modern retelling or whatever. But Bill Murray did a great job, and the ghosts did a great job. What's his face? The David something from the New York Dolls and Buster Poindexter there, the cab driving ghost.
Yeah.
He was a heck of a person.
I don't know if he was ever meant to be Tom Waits, but he's like a demented Tom Waits, isn't he?
A little bit. Bobcat Goldthwait doing his "How's it going?" kind of thing that he was known for back in the 80s. Indiana Jones girl, the first one herself, playing
Carol Kane. She's
Carol Kane. Yep. Carol Kane she is my favorite fairy. She's I love it when you play rough. That lady was good, and I mean, just overall, it's one of those ones that I wouldn't feel guilty watching in the middle of the year, but it's, and then the end at the speech at the end that Bill Murray gives, it's got a lot of heart.
Yep.
More so than some of the other versions of Christmas Carol, and certainly more than a bunch of the Christmas movies that were made around this time did. Because I feel like this was sort of a late 90s or 80s, early 90s were like, I don't know, I felt a bit of a pessimistic time for Christmas movies, or sort of a deconstruction period.
Yeah.
Which is part of like the Christmas Story. I felt like fell a little bit, and it was more realistic, sure, but it for me, it didn't give that Christmas feeling.
Right. Okay. Oh, I need to watch it then.
Yeah, you do. Or, well, at least to say you did.
I've still not seen his Bigfoot film. I've heard good things about it.
His Bigfoot film?
Yeah, he actually believes in Bigfoot, doesn't he?
It doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
He looks like an old cowboy now. He's got he wears like a cowboy hat.
He looks like the kind of guy who'd be making a Bigfoot movie. To me. He definitely does. Okay, cool. Yeah. This is a great choice. I think everybody...
Have you seen this? You've seen this.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, I haven't seen it in a while though, so I think I need to watch it again.
This was the first version of Christmas Carol, quote unquote, that I ever saw. Like, this was when I was a little kid. I saw this movie, so my introduction to the Christmas Carol, and it was great because the monsters and ghosts looked like monsters and ghosts, which was more effective than some of the other versions.
Yeah, I think they were able to kind of like have a bit of that Ghostbuster aesthetic in the makeup, weren't they? That kind of
that could only help them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although Rick Moranis would have been a great choice for the Bobcat Goldthwait role too.
Yeah, he would. Maybe even better. That's a good bit of casting there. Oh, hang on a minute.
All right, who we got?
I'm jumping between the two monitors. That's my mouse here.
Oh.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So Pete's seen it as well.
Cool.
God, we're behind everybody on that one, aren't we? Right. Okay. So I'm going to. My next one stars Roddy McDowell and a lot of hairy people. No, it doesn't. But it does star George Lazenby, and it does have like a guy in a bear suit. That's close enough to getting the apes in as possible. So yeah, my next choice is On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Quite possibly the greatest Bond movie ever made that doesn't have Sean Connery in it. And it really is, because it is actually set at Christmas. The whole last section of the movie, last half of the movie, is set in Christmas, when he's like battling against Blofeld.
Set in action. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's set like in Switzerland, so it would look like Christmas anyway, even if it wasn't. The Piz Gloria, I think it's called, the place where they actually filmed it. And it's got this one brilliant scene where Bond is on the run from Irma Bunt and Blofeld's men, and he's going through this Christmas market, and it's got John Barry's like really dead sweet Christmas song playing. If you've got the soundtrack, it's actually there as a isolated track you can listen to. So it's a proper kind of like overly Christmassy feel, but meanwhile he's kind of like being chased and fearing for his life. And because it's not Sean Connery, because it's George Lazenby, he actually looks as if he's feared for his life. He looks as if actually he could end up, in trouble here. And then he gets to confront Diana Rigg as, the love of his life, in a brilliant sequence. So yeah, On Her Majesty's Secret Service is there as one of my top 5 Christmas films. And it's also because I had to pick a James Bond film, as people know, because it was kind of one of these things. Every Christmas Day, ITV, the independent TV channel in the UK, would always show a Bond movie on Christmas Day. So in a way, we always connected watching Bond on TV with Christmas.
Well, I have to congratulate you, because I don't think anybody has ever had this on their top 10 or top 5 Christmas list.
Yeah. It's by no means a perfect film, but it's one of the best. It's one of the most interesting films as well. Yeah.
Are you sure it's not like a Temple of Doom situation? I've talked to a lot of people that have said I really like it because I've seen it the least.
No,
have you seen this the most?
I've seen this the most. The original time I saw it on TV was the complete version, and then it came out on VHS, and they released a version that was about 20 minutes shorter, and I really liked it. So then taped it on TV to get the full version again.
Oh yeah.
And then I watched both versions to see what the difference was between them, to try and work it out myself. And then, of course, I bought it. I've probably got more copies of this film on VHS than actually. There's quite a few things I've got a lot of copies of. But yeah, this is the one Bond film I have more copies of than any other Bond film as well. Yeah,
sure.
And I have about 4 or 5 copies of every Bond film in some format.
I think I've only got one of each, but I'm eventually going to get like a nice tidy box set.
Yeah.
Probably just be like ending Inspector, because technically, he walked away at the end of that. It was kind of like his last ride. And if they're going to start a new Bond, 007 rather, with this next lady, if it's not just like a trick to get you into the theater.
I don't know, man. Have you seen that phone advert she's in?
No.
Oh, she's completely lacking in any kind of charisma whatsoever. It's sad.
But if it's not, assuming it's not like some sort of a trick to get you in the theater, like he becomes, he takes it back at the end or something. If they're going to continue on with her, then the box set that ends with Spectre is pretty much like the perfect wrap-up package, complete Bond series you can get. So I'll just get that on Blu-ray and be done with it.
The box set that I've got ends with Casino. No, it ends with Quantum of Solace, and it has a space to put Skyfall in. Which is unfortunate.
Right. That's your perfect box set.
It's my perfect box. I've actually put Skyfall in there because I did buy it because I couldn't. I had to be a completist.
Oh yeah. Did you get Spectre?
Yeah, I actually like Spectre more than Skyfall. I see
what you would.
Spectre, because it was more like the Roger Moore kind of era.
I didn't like that. They're brothers. I didn't really like that.
Yeah, I know. But by then, I'd given up all hope of them actually telling a good story, after Skyfall.
It got Craiged.
Oh, God. I'm not looking forward to the new one, I'm afraid.
Well, we still got other Bond episodes to do, so we'll talk more about it then.
We do. That's the new year, coming into the new year. Right, are you ready for your next one? Maybe we could talk about an Master Secret Service.
There we go.
But we won't. And there it is.
Speaking of A Miracle on 34th Street, not the 90s remake, with Edmund Gwenn as Kris Kringle.
Yeah, but I always see him in Munster when anybody says his name because I always get them mixed up in my head.
Oh,
Ed Gwynn, right. Yeah.
I like this movie a lot because it's sort of a great thing to play with, like the actual guy hiding in plain sight, and then he goes ahead and he puts on the costume that is his uniform, but nobody sees it, and then he just kind of walks around doing his thing. Everybody thinks he's a crazy old guy, and he's just doing. It's the real guy, and it's almost like Superman. If Clark just unbuttoned his shirt and let the S sit there, and then everyone's like, "What the heck?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, I bought this shirt."
So before you go on, Ross, you're going to have to point me in the direction of that. Thank you very much. That's brilliant.
Oh yeah,
yeah. But he has the original Superman, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, and I just love the premise of the idea of it. I mean, yeah, they've got the thing where he kind of steers the two stars together and makes the little girl's Christmas and stuff because she's never allowed to have any kind of a Christmas. Poor kid. Yeah. But I mean, the idea of that, just like you're talking to the real guy and you're like, whatever, you crazy old man. Okay, well, whatever. I love that idea.
Yeah, it actually made me want to watch this again because
it's very comic booky without being comic booky. That's the thing I love about it.
There you go. It's a question for you. Are we saving that for when you tell us?
What's wrong with the 90s remake? He had the chance to give her a clone dinosaur. He didn't do it. That's what's wrong with the 90s remake. It's made no sense. He just gave it a walk and stick. I know John Hammond was hiding from the law at that point.
It might well have been. Sorry. This is probably the one movie that people think, if they know movies, think of as going to be one of the top 5 for most people, I would say. Would you say it's a safe bet?
I gotta wonder if like this one changed customer service in the stores as well, because they had the scene where it was just like, hey, if you can't find it, tell them where to get it. What are you talking about? You're going to tell us to send them to their competition? Yes, because we want to make us look great. So they'll just keep coming back. And I wonder if that changed how people saw.
He's running with it. Yeah, it may well be. I never thought about that.
Because, I mean, yeah, it was a big advertisement for Macy's at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Kind of like that movie Career Opportunities was supposed to be a big Target announced thing, but the movie sucked, so they tried to bury it. But in this case, it made Macy's look very, very good.
What movie was that?
Career Opportunities with Frank Whaley, Jennifer Connelly, and Dermot Mulroney, about a guy getting a job at a Target, and these two guys hid in like the back room to like rob the place.
All right.
And he's an overnight guy. It was supposed to be like Target's, like, this will make Target look great, but it was one of John Hughes' worst movies, and John Hughes hated that movie.
Oh, it's a John Hughes film, right? Okay.
Yeah, it's John Hughes. I think he just wrote it or he just directed it, one of the two, but he did not like it.
Right, it must have gone straight to video here. It's never been on my radar.
Chances are you've seen like a GIF of Jennifer Connelly on like one of those like toy horses going up and down. It's from that movie.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Well, relegated to being a GIF.
That's right. It's the only thing anybody remembers.
Right. Well, good choice. Proper Christmassy choice.
Absolutely proper Christmas. He didn't murder anybody or anything.
No. I mean, it didn't have George Lazenby in it, but you can't have everything.
Pete Gilmore and I were just discussing before we went on the Sinterklaas movie, the Sint, where he's just this crazy demon zombie thing coming back every 68 years to murder as many people as he could.
I saw that. I was too busy to join in that chat, but yes, that's kind of what I thought.
Yep, you know what I'm talking about.
So yeah, I know. So what was the name of that one? Because that sounds quite interesting. The one you and Pete were talking about.
Sint, S-I-N-T.
S-I-N-T. Okay, I need to check that out.
Yep.
I am really far behind on like recent kind of Christmas horror releases.
So many different
the last 10 years.
Krampus movies now. Yeah. I think when I was on Tubi, I counted like 9 on there, 9 or 10.
Yeah, because I'm Pete there in the chat. I'm going to have to get together with him at some point in the new year, and he can school me on all the kind of low budget horror that I'm missing out on.
Speaking of which, that should have been on my my honorable mentions, the Rare Exports movie.
The Rare Exports. Yeah.
Did you see that one?
No.
Oh,
I'm so far behind.
You're gonna need to watch that one.
Right.
Above maybe Sint, I don't know, but yeah, it's a Norwegian movie. It's a trip.
Okay, I will go for that then. Oh, hang on, what's it about?
It's about the Krampus is coming, but so all these old dudes, these naked old dudes, are like stealing all of the heaters and the thing, and then they're gonna abduct kids to feed them. Yeah, no joke. I'm just telling it like it is. So these old dudes are stealing.
Oh, right. Okay. All right.
Yep. They're stealing all the heaters in this village, and they're trying to bring back the Krampus. They're abducting kids so he can eat them when he wakes up. And they're trying to stop the old dude from taking all these kids. That's the whole, and stopping the Krampus from coming forward and killing everybody.
All right. Well, I'm going to do an HMV run on Saturday and see if I can get some of these. I've got a funny feeling they're all probably on sale.
Oh, I'm sure.
Right, now I'm going to Warehouse on you for the next one. For my choice, it's Ingmar Bergman's Fanny and Alexander, which is a big, epic family saga, kind of based on the story of these two children.
Which ones?
I can't remember their names. I'm trying to think.
Like 15 of them there.
No, it's Fanny and Alexander, the two young kids. Yeah,
gotcha.
And it's their story. And it's I don't know if you're a fan of Ingmar Bergman at all. You know, The Seventh Seal, and
I like The Seventh Seal,
and the other one that everybody knows. I'm trying to think what's the other one everybody knows.
The Seventh Seal and the other one.
Yeah, the one I'm trying to think. The ones that everybody knows. You know the one I mean. The Virgin Spring. Those are the two that people.
No, I haven't seen that one.
Generally seem to know. That's the one that The Last House on the Left is a remake of.
Okay.
Yeah. Although it's not, because let's just be honest. An early Wes Craven movie is not on the same level as an Ingmar Bergman when it comes to artistic quality.
No, Wes Craven had that idea kind of thing where he's just coming at it from angles nobody thought to.
Yeah, that's it. And he got his style after that. He kind of he built it. Mm-hmm. When he moved into Nightmare on Elm Street, then you see his actual style coming to the fore, which was kind of very melodramatic.
I liked him because he made movies like a psychologist would. He's thinking, people are going to think this way. I'll do this.
Yeah, and with Ingmar Bergman, it was a little bit similar. He was always making movies that were to deal with faith, loss of faith, all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah,
and they're really good. He tended to make films that would always get parodied for being Swedish and depressing, but the majority of them are not depressing at all.
Right.
So I mean, if you were to watch, actually try to think of it or not. A movie like Wild Strawberries is a movie that I would recommend everybody watch. If you watch it when you're young, you won't get it, but there's some interesting stuff in it. If you watch it every couple of years, as you get older, the movie changes every time you watch it. It gets better every time you watch it. And there's a few of his movies that are like that. And I think Fanny and Alexander's a wee bit like that as well. There's two versions you can watch. You can watch the cinema version and you can watch the Swedish TV version, which is about double the length. It's like a 2-part miniseries.
Turned into a miniseries.
Yeah, and that's the preferred version from Ingmar Bergman. That's the one that I saw first. It's as far as the plot goes, it's kind of like the father dies and the stepfather mistreats the kid, sort of thing. But because he has an imagination, It's very much an argument for having an imagination. It's very much an argument for a positive argument for creativity. So it's a brilliant movie. It's a brilliant big movie. It's very long, and that's it. That's my choice. And if you have to watch any other Ingmar Bergman's, I would say Wild Strawberries. And if you want the really heavy stuff, start with Winterlight, and then The Silence. They're the two of the heavy ones. There you go. And if you like opera, The Magic Flute. What can you say? But yeah, it's probably.
What is it you like about this one? What is it you like about this one?
What I like about this one is it has really well-defined characters with this big family, and it's got this wonderful kind of like warm Christmas opening. And as the film gets darker, it's like that opening kind of resonates throughout the film as it goes on. So it's very much it's like it's a long movie, but there's nothing wasted there. It's kind of it's not that you can talk about set pieces or things that happen. It's just the overall emotional flow of the movie is really good.
I get a smile on my face every time Pete Bakewell says I haven't seen it. It's going on his watch list.
That's good. Yeah, I think you'll like it. But yeah, I think there's a lot of people who might have this on their favourites for Christmas, and it's been a lot of years since I've seen it. But my wife got me the Criterion box set for my birthday. And I watched a couple of them, and I've been saving this one to Christmas. I've been saving it to get my new glasses because I can't read the subtitles because I don't have the proper glasses right now. Right. So I should get them this week. So that's going into my Christmas watch list again for the first time in years. I'm looking forward to it. And if it's not as good as I remember, I'll let you know.
How many movies in that box set? That thing's like $300.
Oh, it's I need to go. It's every one of his movies.
I remember seeing the case. Like it's big.
Oh, it's an amazing. It's a huge case, and it's got like this very big sort of like book that comes with it as well. And it's got like a page or 2 pages for every movie. It's pretty much, if you were to give it an award for the best ever release of a director's work or anything in DVD or Blu-ray, this would get it.
High production value.
Yeah, it really is. I'm having a look here at it. I don't think it tells me how many are in it, but there's a few that I haven't seen as well, and there's ones that he wrote the scripts for that he didn't direct, so that's quite cool. So it's really is an entire oeuvre, as it were. But yeah, no, every single one of his movies. It's typical. Criterion's website doesn't count.
39 films featured, 17 not previously released in the Criterion collection.
Yep, wow. There you go, 39.
That's kind of, that bugs the crap out of me. Why couldn't it be 40 or 38?
Well, you get 2 versions of Fanny and Alexander, so strictly you get 40. There you go.
That's fair.
There you go. And also it's got like a 248-page book it is. With
beautiful.
It's an amazing box set. It really is. Yeah, Franco made all of his in about 3 years. Yeah. I had mine in that as well. Never got that. That would be cool.
It was a bust. What did you pull the discs out of his head?
Yeah, it opened up. It was like it was his head was the case. It was like
the monkey brains in Indiana 2.
It was pretty much when it was full of DVDs. But yeah, there you go. That's my art choice for the evening.
I'm cheating.
Yeah, cheat.
It's the same dang story, and I have like 11 of these in my house. I got to watch at least one every year. I'm not sure which one I'm not going to watch. Probably not the Jim Carrey one. I didn't care as much for that one. I haven't seen this one in a while. I don't know, but yes, I do love this story. This is probably my favorite, just kind of Christmas story. I just like the idea of some old jerk that's had a horrible life that turned him into that said old jerk, kind of waking up and realizing how stupid he's been.
Yeah,
it's just and this is the story that changed it all.
Pretty much, it's the one that's been the most referenced as well. I think through most of the movies.
As soon as this story was published, I'd heard like charity on Christmas went up like exponentially. People didn't give as much before this book came out. They talk about it in this one like almost biopic called "The Man Who Invented Christmas."
Yeah.
Came out a couple of years ago. Christopher Plummer really did a good job as Scrooge in that movie. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah, I think I did see that one.
Yeah, it was. I really like that one, and I kind of almost place it in this spot. I'd probably be closer to maybe like Scrooge almost. I mean, it's more a making of the book and about his life and stuff like that. But people. I don't know if I had the problem. I can't really pick a favorite because each one of them had qualities that I really liked about them when they added different things. Like George C. Scott had this little speech in his where it was just like, "Can we put some coal on the fire?" And he's like, "What are these? Those are clothes. What is this? It's a hat. This a scarf. We have these so that we can stay warm. No, you can't have any coal." It's like, oh, I like that.
Yeah. So he was actually a pretty good Scrooge.
He was.
Yeah. I think it was the Alistair Simon's the one I saw first because it was always on TV.
Mm-hmm. That one. Yeah, I like how he kind of portrayed the happiness at the end. Like, I'm not crazy, although I may look it. And then he, messes up his hair, and the lady goes, "Ah!" And she goes running out, and he chases her out. Just like out of his mind with happiness. I love that performance. How giddy he was to like, he really sold like getting that second chance.
He did, yeah.
I think.
And there's just not a decent Blu-ray or anything of that. It really needs somebody to tidy it up.
I got a DVD copy. Well, with this cover, as a matter of fact. Yeah, Michael Caine is another thing. Like the Muppet Christmas Carol wasn't my favorite, but I did like Michael Caine a lot because him. If the movie cost $10 or it cost $20 million, he gave his best performance he possibly could.
Yeah, that's probably one of his better performances, I think.
Oh yeah, this is right up there with Dracula as far as prestige and getting to play it, or Satan.
Definitely.
The BBC 3-parter from last year. I wasn't. I'll be honest, that didn't get included in here because I didn't like it.
Oh, right. You set him off, Pete. You set him off.
Did you see it?
No, I didn't. No.
Oh, Guy Pearce did a really good job as Scrooge, and they updated like his. No
spoilers because Pete's going to watch it.
Oh no! They updated like how he acts and stuff. They changed some lines and stuff like that. But I'll just go ahead and say the third part of that, just like Dracula. What a shocker!
Right,
made me sad as a Christmas Carol fan. I wept tears of sadness.
Right.
For Christmas. I can't believe it. Anyways.
Right. Okay. Well,
it was great. You should have a great time when you watch it. Get some popcorn. Get some kind of a hot chocolate or something like that.
Yep. Yep. Okay. Right. Well, let's swiftly move on. Are we done with the Christmas Carol?
I think so.
Right. Okay. There was some chat earlier on. I didn't pull it up because I didn't want to spoil it. Because my next choice is The Great Escape.
Yeah.
Yep. This is a movie that I think you have to watch it on Boxing Day. Every year.
What a cast!
It's just one of those movies, and it's an amazingly good movie. It's such a good film.
Yeah, it is.
When they made these big epic movies with all the stars in them, sometimes it was too much. But in this case, everybody's a proper character.
There were too many stars for the movie poster.
Yeah, and they're all well defined, and even the ones that weren't the biggest stars, like the bottom there, like Angus Lenny, the wee Scottish guy that ends up losing it. The ones that weren't the biggest star are still
Donald
really
wasn't that big at this time? I don't remember.
I don't think he was that big, but he must have been. He's up there with because when you look at the poster, it's like McQueen, Garner, and Attenborough, of course, and then you've got James Donald, Charles Bronson, Donald Pleasance, James Coburn. So Donald Pleasance must have been, in some way. up there. And yeah, now it's Boxing Day. Yeah, yeah. This is just like it has to be watched. I mean, it does. Ever since I've seen it as a kid, it does annoy me in a couple of ways. The you feel really sorry for Angus Laney's character because he can't handle it anymore. And he makes a run for it. Mm-hmm. And of course, Gordon Jackson, the Scottish guy, is the one that gives him away at the end. Right. It's just like, why did it have to be the Scotsman? But,
Steve McQueen's just cool as ever in this movie.
Exactly. But it's got, I mean, any film that has Charles Bronson and James Coburn is enough. But then you've got Steve McQueen and you've got James Garner, who, another character who epitomizes coolness on screen.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, it's nothing to do with Christmas, but it's got everything to do with Christmas because I think everybody watches it around about that time of the year.
James Coburn always reminded me like he could be like Leonard Nimoy's tough brother that got separated at birth and lived on the streets.
And like Spock. Every man Spock. Yeah. Yeah, he was.
Yeah, this was only missing Lee Marvin, but he got his in the Dirty Dozen.
Yeah, that's an interesting. I don't know. Funnily enough, I can't imagine Lee Marvin in this. It's funny that because it's got Charles Bronson in there as well. But
yeah, Bronson's one of those like in the background characters at this point. Yeah,
I suppose I could see Lee Marvin in this if they went another route and they had John Wayne in it as well.
Like the this was almost like the Expendables.
Yeah, I would call it Donovan's Escape. Yeah, but no, this is like in fact I haven't watched it for a couple of years, so I think I will dig out again and watch it this Christmas.
Oh, you got a full dance card already.
To be honest, I'm not going anywhere, so.
Oh, that's true.
Right. Oh, so that was my number. I think we're doing our number twos, aren't we? That was my number two. So this will be your
my number
one coming up. Here we go.
The best.
The best.
I'm a Frank Capra fan. What can I say? I love me some Capra movies.
The best indeed.
Which it started out as a bomb, which is the funniest part. Nobody cared about this movie when it came out.
No, big flop in 1948 or 46 because it's post-war period and everybody was cynical and didn't want it.
Mm-hmm. They wanted to start seeing that was something Capra in his book he had talked about how I think this must have been he wrote this in like the 60s or 70s because he mentioned I think Dog Day Afternoon and a couple other ones. He was saying movies are concerned with showing sin and not so much showing the triumph of man, but what the horrible stuff they could do. And he really hated that direction. But his movies always did really well in like terrible economic times because people needed to feel good. When money got better, critics started crapping on his movies, and but audiences still liked them. Though he got written off as idealistic after a little while, and that's why it all dried up.
Yep. I'm going to quickly share my first one. We're not going to stop talking about this one, though, okay? But there's my number one. Okay. That's my number one as well. It's like I'm the same with you when it comes to Capra. I love Capra. But I'll dive back to your selection of characters here just now.
This one actually I didn't see, and I think I saw the shop around the corner. And I was just like, gotta get this one because I saw this a little late in the game, maybe 10 years ago or so. But yeah, it stands as one of my favorites. I mean, just going from it's a brilliant idea or for a setup. Like we're gonna take you all the way through. It's like watching a YouTube video on ×2 until you get to the point in the live. But each actor in here was just wonderful. Even Potter, or Lionel Atwell, or Lionel Barrymore rather, was great in that role. It's one of those things where I kind of wonder what his fallout was after, because some of these actors that play really good bad guys, they end up getting hated in real life.
Yeah.
So with such a iconic kind of, I'm going to take your thing and I'm going to take everything else here, and and how horrible he was. And you notice the bad guy in this nothing happened to him.
Yeah, that's what I was saying when Professor Mupp was in earlier on. Was it? I was saying because it's like, he gets away with it.
It's very, very realistic. Where the good guy got got saved, and it was a wonderful thing. But nothing happened to the bad guy. He still got to screw people over.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that. You can have to say it to them. You have to spell it out. It's like, no, wait a minute. It's like everything's going to be the same again, and come the next day, it's like life's tough, and I've just got to get through it. But it's like they don't seem to see that. They just see the kind of like the happy kind of like Christmassy kind of message.
I like this movie a lot because what it says to me is like everything's in the details in life. Big things, they don't happen very often.
Yeah.
Whether it's really bad things or really good things, but your life seems to live and die with the details. And George there forgot about all the good things that he had, and he was going to clip it off. But then, he's shown all the amazing things that he had, not only, but he affected. And it's just the tiny little things that we don't notice and we take advantage of. And this movie is like that love letter to that. All the great little things have to be remembered. Otherwise, you're just going to wallow in the tiny little cuts you get from day to day.
Yeah. It's like, because images I chose here, because I've made sure I had an image of him and Clarence on the bridge. Mm-hmm. So Clarence the Angel. By far the best angel in cinema, until even up to this very day. And it's incredibly dark. It's one of these movies, kind of like I was talking about with Wild Strawberries. It's like as years go by, it changes as you grow older and you watch it as well. And you the whole idea that this is everything hinges around the fact that the man you've been watching for over an hour in this movie has decided he's got to a point in his life where the only solution is to kill himself. Mm-hmm. And it can't get any darker than that.
And you know what? That's really, I think, of all of his characters, this one's probably the most identifiable with everybody, because I think everybody's gotten to a point in their life where it's just like, I've had it. This sucks. Yep. This is life. This sucks. And then you usually find some sort of something to turn it around for you, like he did.
Yeah, that's it. It's that point where everybody's like, "Oh, just when I thought things couldn't get worse." And this shows
Dave's got a thing there. He says, "Why didn't we choose White Christmas or Holiday Inn, and why we're both wrong for not including it?"
Right. Okay. We've still got to get. If you got like an actual imagery made up for your films, or you just
no. We'll just talk about that.
We'll just talk about. Okay, we may get to them, Dave.
No, I don't hate these movies. I do, but there are a couple of reasons that they're White Christmas is my wife's favorite Christmas movie. And Holiday Inn, now that one's going to age a little worse because there's a certain scene in there that with the blackface that they do. Pretty much the same movie. But one thing about Holiday Inn, I did not buy for not 1 second Fred Astaire is the bad guy. Not even a little bit. And then, he steals this girl and he ruins his life. And then 20 minutes from the end, they're like, "Oh, we're going to make up, pal."
Yeah, no.
Ignoring the fact that this guy's a skis.
Yes, it's not one of my favorites. I prefer White Christmas just because of the cast. It's a breezy.
Oh, I do too. The only thing about White Christmas is that scene where Danny Kaye does his dance in his purple suit.
Yeah.
I don't like that scene. It just doesn't fit. It grinds the whole thing to a halt for me. But overall, Danny Kaye is a much better supporting than Fred Astaire. Although I did love the firework dance. That was really cool.
Yeah. But either film is not. It's not really. Either one is one I wouldn't watch at Christmas. If I was going to watch a fun musical, I'd watch, I don't know, High Society or something else. I wouldn't be watching either of those two. Mm-hmm. I did think about it, Pete, but it's not a very good film.
Real quick, before we get back on to Christmas, they're talking about 976 Evil 1 and 2 in the chat.
I saw that.
They all forgot about it.
Yeah.
No, the second 976 Evil was the astral projection one.
Do it, Dave. Do it.
What is this? Making me want to do a video? Yes. Yes, do.
Yes. Do it. Do it. There you go. That's for do it.
Absolutely. But yeah, that answers. I mean, A, they're kind of the same movie, and B, they're a decent movie, but just they've never really been my. I love Danny Kaye movies. Danny Kaye was hilarious, but this one didn't quite make. And also, I'm not as big on musicals. I like some musicals, but they're going to take a back seat to most of my tastes.
I like them. I'm a big fan of musicals, but they are probably down at the bottom of my list. If I could probably think of about 200 musicals I'd want to watch first before watching either one of those.
I kind of put tap dancing movies in another category. You know what I mean? Like versus like a straight musical.
Right. Is that good or bad?
Oh, I like tap dancing movies. There's a
cool.
certain cockiness that that comes with pulling that off, a certain flash that I always got a kick out of, especially like James Cagney did it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Tap dancing movies now. No, I mean, Fred Astaire was good at that as well.
Oh yeah. Just like that smirk as he was pulling something crazy movie off.
yeah, because he did it effortlessly. He was like see, that's the thing about watching the movies of Jackie Chan.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when you're watching Jackie Chan's movies, at least his early ones, you should be watching them like Hollywood musicals, because that's what he was doing. He was doing dance numbers, but with kung fu.
Oh yeah, everything perfectly choreographed.
Never made a bad. Yeah, I know what you're saying there. Yeah.
So
yes, that was another one that would have been one of my honourable mentions, because it is also the best Hollywood musical ever made.
Oh, my wife loves that one.
Yeah, definitely is an amazing film. Also worth seeing if you ever go to see the stage version. They do a very good stage version.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. They kind of fill the stage with water and dance on the stage, and so don't sit in the first 6 or 7 rows, whatever you do, because they get soaked.
You got to give them like trash bags.
Yeah, pretty much.
Gallagher concert.
Well, they tell them going in, you maybe want to wear a coat or something. Do you want a sheet?
Well, Lethal Weapon was set during Christmas, but that's another one of those like sits at Die Hard you can watch all year long. Christmas is a tiny little piece of it.
Yeah, I think because of where it's set as well, it doesn't have that Christmassy feel.
I love at the end when they're all just like, "We're good cops, but if we do this, we gotta murder them all." Right by the Christmas tree.
Yep. It's also one of those things that it's just Shane Black seems to just want to set his movies around about Christmas for some reason.
It is kind of weird.
Yeah, because of Iron Man 3.
Oh yeah. So I didn't put National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation or the Christmas Story on there, and those are both like really big. But because I will tell you, this is the last time I hate those movies. They're so dang pessimistic. It's almost like an anti-Christmas movie to me.
Yeah, I'm not I don't mind the first one, but
from the National Lampoons.
Yeah, the first National Lampoon Vacation. But I'm not a big fan of them. No, I think once I did it once, that was it. This is like regurgitating it.
I watched them when I was watching it. When you watch them with a bunch of like the really good faith Christmas movies that like really make you feel good after you're done watching. When you watch them with those movies, because I bought a stack of DVDs one year and I was watching them, they stick out so incredibly hard to me.
Yeah.
But I think people that, because most of the people that I know that really love them, I don't know how to describe it. Christmas is like one of those ones where like maybe their families get-togethers aren't the greatest. So I think maybe it's an identifier, kind of, like I can identify with that because my family's a mess too.
Yeah, I think as well, just because Christmas is also. I mean, they've just done one of the movies as a Christmas movie, isn't it? It's only the one they've done. I think it's because it's such a stressful time for families as well. They can associate with the kind of Christmas that what's the name of that family that's in, what they're called? Not the Grimsbys. Chevy Chase's family. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of them. Like I say, the first movie I quite liked, second one was okay, but I'm not a big fan of them. Kind of like
that's a Thanksgiving movie. One of the only ones I can think of.
Yeah, that just means Christmas to us in the UK, though.
I suppose. Yeah.
The snow, and it's a holiday time, so that's good enough.
That was a great movie. I love that movie.
That's such an underrated film now. I don't know why people don't have that in their top. That would be, if we were doing like a top 5 comedies, that would be definitely edging in.
Really tough to make that a family movie with that speech about how tired he is of everything. Yes,
I know,
want
that's
the
it.
effing car. And
Thank you. The
Griswold, that's right. The FU speech that he had to the lady when he'd had enough of it was the single thing that pushed it to R.
It is, but that's also that's the one of the few instances where it is they do it well.
Oh, absolutely.
When they go over it, there's not a cynical, we're just doing this to get an R rating. It's like this actually works as a scene.
But I mean that's where that one did it, where I think like the other two failed, where they go through all this crap. One guy's just a jerk. The other guy's super happy, and you find out he had a horrible life, horrible thing happened in his life, and then they sew it up with a lot of heart at the end.
Yeah.
And it makes it all worth it. But I just didn't get that from the other two.
No.
But you'll have to see A Christmas Story and tell me what you think.
Right. So what are your because I think we're both. I mean, you kind of have to put, unless you don't like the movie, you kind of have to put It's a Wonderful Life as like the perfect kind of Christmas movie. And again, it's not actually really a Christmas movie when you start thinking. If you start dissecting,
no, it's not. The Christmas part at the very end that's it. And that's why I can watch it like most times of the year. But I think it's got to be that like feeling of goodwill at the end of the movie that you usually get when he's saved by the whole town, pretty much. But yeah, I still haven't watched the colorized version. I've got a Blu-ray with both of them.
Oh, don't! No.
I can't bring myself to do it.
Oh no. I did go to see a stage version of a musical version of it a couple of Christmases ago, which was quite good fun.
Musical version, huh?
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest. Yes, Frozen Dog in the back of the truck. That was quite good. But it wasn't the greatest. But the one thing that did annoy me was they didn't sing Buffalo Gals. And I thought,
the one song in the actual movie.
The one song that was actually in the movie didn't sing.
I mean, I could see the jitter or the dance scene from the dance where they fell in the pool is something, and then the Buffalo Gals, but
yeah.
But then some Christmas Carol at the end.
Yeah, but that was okay. I did an okay job of it. But it's one of these things because I think it's public domain, isn't it? Really?
Is it?
Yeah, I think the story is.
Wow. I suppose I've seen enough parodies of it.
Yeah, I'm thinking it is, but depending on what print you've got, I may be wrong. But I think it is, and that's why they can do different kind of like stage versions of it. There's just certain things that they can't use.
It's possible. Yeah. Oh, I suppose. Yeah. Yeah. There will be some things that are very specific to this version. Yeah,
you need to check up exactly what it is, but it must be something like that. Yeah.
Well, it's not exactly something you can coin. Guy's going to kill himself, and a spirit or an angel makes him think twice.
Yep.
Whenever I think of that movie, I think of that line from the second Addams Family. He has his father's eyes. Gomez, take those out of his mouth.
Good line. Yeah, and I've still not watched that. I've got that. That's a musical, isn't it? Yeah, Anna and the Apocalypse.
Wow. We had some good picks today.
We did. So what do you want to rail at then? What don't you? Oh, here we go. Hey, hello there, not my monkeys, not my circus.
I in the spirit of Christmas, I was very kind because those two beloved classics, Nightmare on Christmas Street, the National Lampoons and Christmas Story.
Right.
It's one of those things where, you put like on Twitter or something, unpopular opinion. What's your unpopular opinion? I put that on there. I'm guaranteed to get a lot of pushback on it because people love those movies. They do. But yeah. I think I like the 40s Christmas movies because I think they did it the best around that time.
Yeah.
But then I like black and white movies, and there's a lot of people that are like, black and white movies is stupid.
No. The black and white movies are the best.
I had a guy who last year asked me who John Wayne was.
Did you strangle him?
No, I had a heart attack and died because I was old right there.
Oh, right. So I'm talking to your ghost right now. The ghost of Christmas past.
I said, who's John Wayne? I was like, you're kidding me, right? And then, another lady that was like, oh, she must have been 23, 24. She wouldn't watch anything before the year 2000. It was too old if that were the case.
Yeah, it's not the horror show tonight. That's why. That's why I'm camera shy. I was trying to think about really bad Christmas movies or movies at Christmas, and I think Santa Claus with Dudley Moore is the one.
We didn't mention any of the Hallmark.
You've never seen any of them.
That's it's like a soap opera with tinsel. But I mean, They are the Christmas company. They put out over 100 Christmas movies a year. They start making their Christmas movies in like April.
I know. That's just nuts. That's just nuts.
I think they said they had like over 129 Christmas movies to debut this year. They do like what is it? They do some Christmas in July, and then they do like the 30 Days of Christmas where they show Christmas movies all month until Christmas.
Well, that's it, because you have to. Do you get the Christmas channel over there? Because we get like
no.
You go in, there's a Christmas channel, and it's just all the Hallmark movies and Christmas movies.
That feels like Hallmark itself is just. I mean, that's their business now. They're known for like just, and they're all the same, of course. You know, small town girl goes to the city and she meets this, and then it turns out great every time. But but it's your typical romantic comedy type stuff. To me, it looked, to my eye, and like the acting and stuff really looked a lot like a soap opera, but was much better lit.
Yeah.
Like, and you know, it wasn't like a bunch of 70-year-olds still trying to like sleep with each other or whatever like that. But it's very soap opera-y.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to diss those movies and people that like them, because a lot of the kind of B-Z grade horror movies that I love, it's the same thing, you know.
Well, I'll tell you, it's a friend of mine. She really likes Nicholas Sparks books and movies, and you know they get a lot of crap because nobody likes them really. But I'd asked her like, why do you like these things? They're the exact same every time. You know, it's always pretty much the same premise. It's almost always set in North Carolina. You know, it's the same thing. And she said, and this I think works for horror movies and Hallmark movies especially, you know what you get when you watch that movie. It's comfort food, basically. Yeah. So you don't have to think. You don't have to know wondering what's going to happen. You can just know, hey, sick person's going to get together with another person and like somebody's going to die, but they're going to find somebody else. You can lay the whole plot out just like any slasher flick. You can look at the poster and say, there's your final girl right there. And you just watch it because it's comforting to sometimes watch a movie, you know what's going to happen.
Exactly. I'm thinking I should have picked The Shining now that you're talking. It just jumped into my head there.
But yeah, and I think Christmas movies, the Hallmark ones or whatever, that's kind of the thing. You want to feel good. You watch a comforting movie, even if you haven't seen it. You know what you're going to get from a certain package. A lot of them the formulas are built that way. That's
it. We are the same when you watch a Halloween or a Jason movie or something. You kind of know what you're getting before you go in there.
And that's part of the brand.
It is. It's part of what you want.
I mean, you know, you see a regular, I should say real critic, quote unquote, somebody that does it for a job, and they hate horror movies more often than not because it's not The Godfather.
Well, yeah, we had a guy like that in the UK called Barry Norman, who would have a late night show once a week, and here we go.
The ending.
Yep, the Disney. But Barry Norman, and he would do like a wee 25-minute show once a week, and he'd be reviewing movies, and he would always be really snide and turn his nose up at any horror movies, and he would say something along the lines of it at least has some decent performances in it and that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And you know when he said that it was a brilliant horror movie, and you were just dying to see it.
Yeah, they give a very tiny little compliment, and you know that it's going to be a good. Like The Conjuring is one that, like the first couple or whatever, like that, like those were really surprisingly well done. I mean, for critics and stuff like that.
They're both really good horror movies. There's two things I detest about them, though.
What's that?
Well, they're based on that couple, a real life couple, who are a couple of hucksters who I really don't like. I wish they hadn't done that. I wish they just based it on them and not actually kind of like
big fodder for a franchise, though. Taking the stories and turning them into something, though.
Yeah, they could have done that anyway. I mean, it's generic stuff. Generic stuff, you know.
Right.
So I really hate that. And actually, I don't know if I hate it. It actually is really good. But in the second film, he sits down, he picks up a guitar and sings a song. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen in a horror movie.
Oh man, the guy that plays the main investigator. He's oh shoot,
No, you're the same as me. I can never remember his name because he's in
Patrick Wilson.
Patrick Wilson. He's really good as well. Everything he's in, he's really good. But I can
that's
never
the funniest
remember.
thing. Nobody knows who he is. They look at his face and they go, "Hey, that guy. That's Night Owl. That's the guy from The Conjuring. That's Ocean Master." He's been in all these big movies and little movies, and still nobody knows who it is, and everybody likes him.
That's a terrible thing as well, because sometimes he's the best thing in the movie.
I think that's a credit to him, though.
It is, because in the Insidious films too. Because I like
it's not a Patrick Wilson movie. He just goes in there and he does his job, and they say, "Oh, he's Ed Warren. Oh no, he's Ocean Master. Oh no. See, I love that about him.
Yeah, it's like an old school kind of character actor would be.
Mm-hmm. Except he looks like a leading dude.
What's this here?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Siskel and Ebert usually hated horror movies.
Oh yeah, they were practically campaigning for them to be banned, I think.
That's the thing. I don't know why people didn't look at like the intent. Like, that's why you always pay attention to the audience score. But I mean, like, you look at the intent on what it's supposed to do, and then judge from there. They should have had a separate kind of criteria for horror movies, but unfortunately, they're running them all on the same thing.
Yeah,
I always thought that was wrong.
They wouldn't. Something like The Haunting, Robert Wise's The Haunting, they would make an exception for because I had that old Hollywood craft about it.
Yeah.
And it is a brilliant movie. Let's not, let's not beat around the bush. It's a fantastic movie. But it had to have that kind of quality or that kind of prestige before they even gave it any kind of credit. I think that's what the mainstream critics were like.
And again, with horror, sometimes I think more than anything else, and this will go for like Christmas movies. I mean, horror Christmas movies and stuff like that. It's one of those few groups that kind of gets better with age.
Yeah.
Like you watch it at the time and you're thinking, this is okay. But then, you watch it 10 years later and you're thinking, wow, actually, I was really entertained with this movie. They don't typically age backwards, most of them.
Yeah. What's his name again? The guy that people...
John
Patrick.
Oh, no. That's, he's talking about Tom Jane.
Thomas Jane, that's right. See, that's another one whose name I get mixed up as well. I'm like people with that. I can never remember his name.
Right. I think there's a running joke that they get mixed up.
That's it. Right. Well, running jokes. Yeah, that's Christmas for you guys. We've done it.
Christmas early.
Sorted. Way.
Way. See, look at that, you guys. He gave away the ending before. It's kind of like, what movie does that? Quarantine? Quarantine did it in the trailer.
Yeah, I thought they're either going to think we're not going to pick it, and it's like be a red herring, or it's going to be our number one. So yeah, it's turned out being both of our number ones. But that was it. That was like that was the only crossover. I was surprised you didn't pick on Her Majesty's Secret Service, but there you go.
I like that. Christmas film just means cozy film. He's onto something there.
Yeah, Christmas film
just makes you feel real good.
Yeah, I think in a lot of cases as well. Well, to be honest, Black Christmas is not. But I think as well, it's you tended to see it around about that time of year. That can have a big kind of effect on something a Christmas film for me. But yeah.
Oh, certainly people got different traditions. Like, they got a movie they all really love. They sit down and watch it together, and that's a family thing. It's an event.
I've lost my mouse. I'm desperate to get this up on screen. Go. Right, okay, brilliant. That's another great recommendation from Peter that I'm going to have to check out. Don't need to tell me the name of it. I'll Google it.
Got to do some detective work on that one.
Cheers, peeps. Well, that's us, guys. We are done. That's actually our last proper. Well, as our last one before Christmas, our last kind of maybe our last one of this year, but we don't know yet. I'll let you know during the week when the next show is going to be scheduled for. Yeah. I'll be here on Tuesday though, at 11 o'clock, because I'm going to try and make it a regular thing now. So 11 o'clock every Tuesday, I'll be doing like a wee live stream. last week, Statto joined me and helped me out because I was feeling a wee bit crap, to be honest. Wasn't feeling that great. And we kind of talked about some Ailsa Dark stuff. This week, hopefully I'm going to be able to sit and do a wee bit of drawing while I'm talking about Ailsa Dark and things as well.
Oh, man.
What I'm going to be talking about this week, I think, is probably going to be influences on Ailsa Dark. So, yeah, I'll be talking about maybe some of the horror movies that influenced Ailsa Dark and do a wee bit of drawing.
You know, I should have made my Santa hat a little bit more like furry, because as it's small, it just looks like another bird took a giant dump on my head.
It does a little bit. That only depends on how small you're. If somebody's watching this full screen, it looks fine. It's the way sometimes you just don't know how they're going to crop it when you get into StreamYards. But yeah, when you big it up, it looks fine. You're okay. Mine just looks like somebody went onto clip art and stuck it on their avatar.
Santa's reindeer think of me this year.
Right. Oh, well, that's us, guys. On that note, bird poop for Christmas.
Coal is too valuable these days.
Indeed. Yeah. I'll let you know when you're going to see us both together again and what we're going to be talking about. You reminded me, Statto, we need to do the next Bond special at some point. We'll do that quite soon, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't talked, but we'll need to do John Wayne at some point too.
John Wayne? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's probably about 3 different shows, though, I think.
Oh, geez, there's war movies, there's John Wayne. We got so much.
Yeah,
we can probably map out entirety of next year.
Pretty much the entirety of next year is going to be us talking about movies every Thursday night. That's what you got to look forward to, guys, and comics every now and then as well.
Oh yeah.
So on that note, indeed, to you all, thanks for turning up and joining in the chat, and right back at you and everybody else in the chat. Pete, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
And I'll probably see some of you, I hope, on Tuesday night. Good night.
Bye.